think we are running live now. And what's up, everybody? I'm Charlie, and this is my Spanish journey. I am not used to doing live, so I'm gonna treat this like a video. Uh, First of all, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been commenting. That really does mean a lot, and it helps keep me motivated. It's kind of neat having a lot of people who are also on their own Spanish journey, also. But I wanted to answer a couple of questions. Um, the same question that's come up a few times, other than italki and Duolingo. What do I do? What do I do in a typical week to learn Spanish? And I I yeah, I don't really have a huge plan for it. So it's something that it's I'm passionate about it. I I love doing it. Hey, what's up, Plano kid? How's it going? I'm just answering a question on Hola Hola Lingua Academy. Mi amigo venezolano. Um I wanted to talk about what I do to learn. Right now I'm taking anywhere between 2 and 6 italki lessons a week. And let me jump into, maybe I can do this and share share this screen and jump into my italki dashboard. I've done 328 lessons. Um, so that's um that's something. And each one of those is about an hour. It's taken me about a year to get that done. And um what else? Let's see. I can go over some of my teachers too on italki. Let's see here on on my italki teachers. I have them kind of set up here. Paula Andrea, I've had a handful of lessons with her. I've shared some of them. She's fantastic to talk to. Cynthia, Paula's from Colombia. Cynthia's from Mexico. She's a fantastic teacher, also. I've had a few lessons with her. Susanna from Venezuela. Um, Very fun to talk to. I've posted lessons with her. Maria is a regular. I have regular weekly lessons with Maria, um, and have for well over a year. Outside of italki, well, let me go through these before. John Carlo, very fun to talk to, really nice guy. Gabriel, Gabriel's fantastic. He was my first Spanish teacher, which I was incredibly nervous to take an italki lesson. And now, hola, talking America, you're actually the reason I'm going live right now. So thanks for touching base. Um, yeah, that Gabriel guy seems pretty cool. Yeah, just ask him. That's funny. Um, yeah, so yeah, I've taken lessons with Gabriel for 3 years now, and I could not be where I'm at without lessons like that. Vivi, I've not posted lessons with her, but I've had man, I've had a bunch of lessons with her. She's a great teacher. Mac is incredibly fun. I've also not posted her lessons either. Very fun to talk to. I really do like the test of a conversation class. Alfredo is from Argentina, and I've seen him do lessons with other people, and he's got a YouTube channel. I'm not sure what it is, but if I find it, I'll put a link in the description. There's a bunch more. I've had lessons with Stephanie and posted them. fantastic, a conversationalist, and I would highly recommend lessons like that too. Spanish with Pipe, he's fun. I do have lessons posted for him too. And Maria is the twin sister of Paola, and I've been wanting to have lessons with her, but our schedules never really lined up. Outside of Italki, let me get into it. Let's see. Well, as you can see by my phone, I'm not someone who is bugged by notification marks. I have over 6,600 unanswered emails, so that doesn't really bug me. Duolingo. I do Duolingo every day for anywhere from 1 minute to, I'm going to say, up to an hour. And there's no rhyme or reason behind that. It's just whatever I feel like doing it. And uh, I can do a 1 minute lesson right now just so you can see on the practice section on the bottom, there's the speaking practice. I think it's a great practice session. I think it's a great tool to just get you to speak. And as a dyslexic, I I don't really read that well, so I use it. I use it to just practice reading. So Duolingo has taken me a very long time, but let me run through a 1 minute taking which of nice talking American is just saying how he's going to be um, tripling up on his italki lessons for the for some days soon. Let's see, did I do that? I'm going to do a speaking lesson real quick, and it's going to take a. This is how you can keep your streak going with only spending about a minute. So instead of listening, there's two ways to do it. You can listen to it,
a la escuela?
listen to him say it so you can repeat it. Tú caminabas a la escuela. Or you can just jump past them saying it and go straight to reading it. El patio de juego era mi lugar favorito.
El,
El bebé, el bebé dormía muchas horas.
Ellos
Ah, ellos ganaban todos los partidos del fútbol. This is how I'm kind of practicing reading.
de niña, mi mamá corría con su padre.
De niña, mi mamá corría con su padre. Nosotros cuidábamos a los animales de la granja. Yo siempre conversaba con mi abuelo. Ellos estudiaban por ser medicinos. Mi escuela tenía 2 patios de juego. Yo iba al parque con mis amigos frecuentemente. It's a good way to practice pronunciation. It's a good way to practice talking. You can run through these lessons really quick. That's it. That's a lesson that doing this took 1 minute and 29 seconds, but you can do it in a minute. But as you can see, I'll show you the schedule too on Talking America, saying that he wanted to take the DELE B2 exam in July, but his company won't let him take off for that week. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I have no idea actually what level of Spanish I am because I've not done anything like that, and I'm really not. I don't know if I can do any of the, because I've avoided the reading and writing lessons. I think those are kind of necessary to do that, and I know I probably shouldn't, but I have. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have avoided those things because of dyslexia. At least that's what I blame it on. That's always my excuse. Um, let's see. Streak wise, I pretty much never miss a day. See when the last time I missed a day was. Um, November, November 12th. For some reason, I missed a day. Oh, and I guess before that, I was missing all kinds of days. But yeah, yeah, whatever. I do Duolingo. I anywhere from 1 minute, like you just saw, up to an hour. Nice. Um, what's up, Samuel? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Llevo 2 años aprendiendo español. Gracias a usted, me siento muy motivado gracias a tus videos. Me alegro mucho, amigo. Eso significa mucho para mí. Empecé de ver tus videos de día número uno con mi español. Oh, wow. You started watching my videos on day one? I mean, you started learning Spanish on. I understand what you're trying to say. You didn't start learning Spanish. You were already watching my videos. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I'm really not someone who would know how to really even explain what I'm learning. I don't even know what I'm learning as I'm learning it. So, yeah, Talking America says my conversation sounds at least B1. That's what Gabriel said too. I feel like sometimes it might sound legit, but I'm meaning to say something else because sometimes I confuse opposites, and that's not something that can really come across unless I tell you. Um, First time here. Hola, well, bienvenidos. I've been learning Spanish for about 3 years, and I just kind of post my lessons, and I'm not good with lives. I never really do lives, but I wanted to get on here and just kind of answer some questions on what I'm doing to learn Spanish. And so I'm super nervous because I never do lives. Um, Buenas noches, señor Charlie. ¿Cómo vas? Estoy bien. Todo bien. Siempre estoy bien. Um, what else do I do? Because now I'm kind of intermediate, I can do things to learn Spanish that are, I guess, a little just for fun. For example, I was never able to follow subtitles in English fast enough to watch a movie that was in Spanish using English subtitles. Now I can understand enough to actually follow um, series. Me and my wife, binged watched Reina del Flow on Netflix, and that was something to where we really got into it. And man, we were probably watching 2 hours a night, maybe sometimes even more, sometimes 3 hours on the sofa, which was super cool. You chat, what's Spanish? Phone is killing me. LOL. Let's see what's going on. I don't want to miss too many of the comments. I'm terrible about comments. Do you ever get nervous speaking in public with native speakers? Oh my God, yes. I yeah, I'm I'm an incredibly shy person. Right now, I'm pretty much shaking. So just doing this, and this is nothing. I can turn this off anytime. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm always nervous um, speaking in public. Uh, this week, I got hung. I felt like, oh, I'm doing really good. Maybe I can go and order tacos at this is at this gas station. I like their tacos over there. But I went to order tacos and I confused arena and harina, and so I uh I ordered I ordered fajita tacos with sand tortillas. Uh, so yeah, that's that's where I'm at on my Spanish journey, where I'm confusing sand and flour. Let's see what else I'm missing here. Phone. Yeah, you've been. Thanks, Samuel. Yeah, I didn't know how to really explain it. You've been watching my videos since you started learning Spanish. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are tapping in and doing it. I do the same thing. There's other guys who share their lessons, and I've done it. I've watched other people's lessons the entire time. So I do the same things that everyone else does, the same YouTube channels. If you're into YouTube to learn Spanish, there's channels like Spanish with Paul. He was actually that was actually my first channel that got me learning to say sentences. Spanish with Paul. I think he's a British or an Australian guy who moved to Mexico, and he teaches Spanish in a very slow way. And he helped me say my first sentences in Spanish. And then, there's of course there's a ton of Spanish content. I could probably look up the. I wonder if I can just do it here. Let's see. Let's get back on the instance. Let's see YouTube.
Learning English.
Quit Tampa. That's a really good channel. He has a lot of fitness stuff and he speaks Spanish to a really high level. Um, what do I do? How do I see this? Where do I need to go home? Look at me doing a live. That is so odd. Let me see some. Oh, I can't show. That's not there anymore. I did not realize that I dropped the ball on that. Okay, so yeah, let's just do this then, and maybe I can show some of the channels on YouTube. Spanish with Paul. That's a really good one. Uh, Meta Logos is someone who has shared tons of tons of his Spanish lessons and conversations. Nika Flow is a really good it's a good channel. It's a small channel. He's from Nicaragua, from Bloomfields, Nicaragua, and and he does a lot of content teaching Spanish and has lives, and I want to see if I can get this to where I can at least share it. Let's see. Let me just do this for a second. Let's do a new window like this. And I'm letting the comments run. As a person with anxiety, I admire you, mate. Yeah. You seem to be doing amazing with Spanish. I love the vibes and everything from your channel. Thank you, Samuel. That means a lot, man. And yeah, good luck on your Spanish journey. I'm sure you will pass me in no time. I am not a fast learner. I have not tried attending a language exchange in person. What's your motivation to learn Spanish? I have always wanted to learn Spanish. Thanks for asking that question. My dad is from Honduras, and we never learned Spanish as children, and so I had a side of my family that spoke Spanish, and those grandparents didn't speak great English, so I never could have real conversations. It was always just like hi and I love you and Merry Christmas and good to see you again, stuff like that. But I never, I was never able to talk to those grandparents, and I was always there. So that's kind of a weird thing to actually have. My wife speaks Spanish. We've been married for 20 years. I never learned the language. I've always wanted to, and I've listened to Spanish music my entire life, and and can sing it. And I mean, I don't sing good, but I can sing it. Uh, but it's the same for me singing that or singing Portuguese, like the lambada song. It it makes no difference. It's just sounds and noises that I make and like the rhythms and stuff. So um, I've always wanted to learn Spanish. I'm actually learning it now, but I've tried to do it multiple times throughout my life. Like um, Rosetta Stone is really something that I've had for years, and I've had it on discs, and I've only ever learned like the first 100 words or something like that with Rosetta Stone until about 3 years ago when I started taking it incredibly serious. But yeah, I've always wanted to learn. I am motivated. There's people in my life. I met my father-in-law for the first time because he lives in Colombia, and I've never traveled outside of the U.S. either. He came here about 6 or 7 years ago and spent a month with us. We we couldn't talk, not at all. My wife was able to do all of that for us, but there's people in my life who always visit us who speak Spanish, and I want to be able to communicate with the people in my life, and and so yeah, motivation is relationships and um, I don't know, just there's a desire to do it. I have not attended language exchanges. And what else? Oh, there's a YouTuber named Mike Ben. Yeah, Mike Ben started learning Spanish about 3 months after I did. I started in September of 2019. He started in January of 2020. And Mike Ben is a rock star. So he's not posting um, more videos right now. I really hope he comes back or finds something that he's enjoys doing. I think it started to feel like a job, and he didn't want to make any more videos. He's he is he has stopped. So send him some love. Maybe you can get him back on there. Hopefully he finds something to do. He wrote a book to help people with Spanish, and yeah, so he started learning Swahili and and basically put that to the side. I don't know if he's picked it up again because he's not been posting and sharing that. Um, but yeah, he kind of gave up on his channel. He learned in 1 year what I don't know if I will achieve. Uh, that's the I've actually said it in another conversation with somebody. Mike Ben is an example of someone who knows how to learn, and I am someone who you can be horrible at doing something, but if you keep doing it, you will get better. And that's me. I'm 3 years into it. He spoke better at 6 months than I'm speaking right now. Um, So yeah, nothing but admiration for Mike Ben. Thanks for even bringing him up. He's an inspiration to me because yeah, we started at about the same time, and I remember being so pissed off and was like, he's lying. Look how good he's speaking. But I mean, I followed him the entire time. I know he's 100% legit. What else? Thanks. Miguel saying that he appreciates me and that I've inspired him. Well, I appreciate that. I Yeah, I appreciate that too. I've really just been sharing my journey. It's it's yeah, it wasn't something I originally started sharing these. Well, I record my videos because I don't take notes. I wanted to re listen to my own classes again and hear my own mistakes and hear what the teachers were trying to explain to me when I'm just not getting it. And that has helped. And then I remember feeling really proud of them and wanting to share them with, with friends. Like, I'm really doing it now. And then it got to the point where I I was just okay with sharing it with the world. You bought Mike Ben's book? That's cool. I was gonna buy it, but I know I would never read it. My sister-in-law bought me books and pamphlets and stuff like that, and I never even open them. I've read maybe 3 books in my entire life. I I just I just don't read. Let's see. How did you ever get discouraged while learning Spanish? Oh, did I ever get? See, that's the kind of stuff that happens to me when I read. Did I, did I ever get discouraged when I was learning? Yeah, I'm in a permanent state of discouragement. The only thing is I don't do anything that I don't enjoy. I am only doing the things in learning Spanish that I enjoy. That was the thing that got me to quit every time in my entire life. Uh, spelling spelling things, that's great. I know because I've seen it with too many people. Now that I've had this channel and I've been keeping an eye on as many channels as I can, the people who are learning quickly, they read in Spanish. What you saw me reading a little while ago, that's the extent of my reading. Um, so yes, I've been discouraged plenty times, and for me, it always comes with writing and reading and the errors that come from that. So I enjoy speaking, and I actually I don't mind making mistakes. Yeah, I think Mike is learning Swahili. The last that I heard, he pushed pause on that. Um, but that would be cool if he does. Trilingual is that's a serious feat, especially if he does it the way that it seems like he does things. Like uh, he's somebody who definitely dives in with persistency. Um, oh, you got a chance to meet him at the language exchanges in Atlanta. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I'd like to go to one. But I've never really done language exchanges. Italki is 99%. This is honestly what I'm doing right now. I feel like I'm talking to you guys. This is pretty much the most I talk to strangers. If it's not my job selling, I fix cars for a living, and if I'm not talking to customers, I don't really talk to strangers. I'm actually a shy person. Plano kid, I spoke Spanish at a local store restaurant. They were so impressed. I got a free chicharron taco. That's 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 awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's something definitely to be proud of. Uh, yeah, I'm getting more and more comfortable. I work in a lot of body shops. They use our service a lot, and there's always people who speak Spanish, and people who have known for the last 3 years that I've been learning Spanish too, who know me, and so yeah, it is really cool when someone gets to see it, and I know exactly what you mean. It definitely feels really good. Hmm. I can read well, but my speaking sucks. My speaking sucks too. Just just do more of it. I don't think it's that important. I don't think it's important at all to sound like a native. Um, I've been married to a Spanish speaker for 20 years. Her accent was really heavy, and I loved it when we met. That was in 2003. And she still has a pretty heavy accent. I would say she still has a pretty heavy accent. I don't think it's important to try to sound like a native. So what you might think sounds terrible, just think yeah, just think how good someone like Antonio Banderas sounds, and would it even be worth watching a movie with him in it if he sounded like me? So yeah, there you go. Don't worry about that. Just speak. Your accent is is your accent. As long as you're saying the words to where someone can understand you, yeah, I think yeah, that's good. They'll get better. Anything that you recognize can be worked on, you will work on it. So yeah, don't worry about that. Miss Mendez, yeah, we should do another group lesson. That was cool. I have some ideas on how to do that. If I just think it would be easier to actually use our names and our locations to build characters and stories. I think it would be a lot easier. Those group classes that we've done are a really good way, because believe it or not, I still struggle with the conjunctions of I, she, they, um, we, and those building those stories actually does help. Yeah, that's cool. Thriller from Manila. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad. I share my classes, and people watch some of it. I mean, they got to be pretty boring for the most part. It cannot compare to taking it yourself, because when it's your class, you can sit through the most boring parts because you're actually struggling through them. But when I watch even other people's classes, because I do watch a lot of other people's conversations the same way that I have mine, um, it's hard to watch the parts that get boring, and they do get boring. Yeah, you struggle with all the past and present tenses. I'm pretty sure I struggle with gender, with with the tenses, and grammar. But oh my, yeah, don't even get me started on subjunctive. Uh, I have thought to myself, I'm not sure if I will actually learn subjunctive. I'm sure I will eventually, as long as I keep doing it. Um, I was gonna show some of these. How do I see my? I guess there's really not. You guys want some recommendations on like entertainment? entertainment style YouTube channels. There's there's a channel called Queasy the CEO. He does reactions to music videos and things like that. He does not try to sound like a native speaker, but he speaks really, I think he speaks really good, and he's definitely playing a character, but it's very over the top and very easy to understand. I love the way he speaks. I would love to be able to speak like that. Um, what are some of these other channels? Let's see if this will work. Let's see. If I can jump into each one like that. Quick Tempa, he does. I've done an interview with him somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere on his channel. Uh, he speaks high level Spanish too. Um, let's see. I don't know, depending on what kind of comedy you like. Tom Segura is a stand up comedian. His mom is from Peru, and he has an entire playlist of. All right, good morning from Germany. Wow. Yeah, they used to have these group classes in Duolingo. Um, they were beta testing that. If you got the chance to see that, I know you have an iPhone. That was a win for the iPhone Android battle that is just ongoing. Um, that feature was only for iPhones. Um, I use an iPhone, but I don't use a Mac computer, so I guess that makes me somewhere in between. Uh, I give grace to the people who always give me a hard time for being an iPhone person. Yeah, Tom Segura has a really. I like the kind of comedy that he has because sometimes my brain is just a little bit warped. So it's interviews and monologues, and he reads recipes, and I would I would consider it advanced, but it's very entertaining. Spanish Blueprints, another small channel, very informative, really great personality, and he does speak with a very high level of Spanish. I kind of look like Tom Segura. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I can see that. Um, yeah, Josh or Josue with Blueprints, Spanish Blueprints. He's got tons of videos and yeah, a lot of good content there. Which one I was telling you? He is from Bloomfields. Um, Chris, he, I think he actually lives in Houston, so he's not even that far from you. Another small channel with tons of um, Nicaraguan based content. Um, he has been teaching his, I don't know if he's been teaching his I'm gonna say wife. I think wife, girlfriend. It's all the same thing to me. Um, Spanish for probably about 3 years too. Um, and he grew up in Nicaragua where they speak English, but it's kind of a Caribbean English. So there's like an ongoing challenge to can you guess where I'm from? And everyone says Jamaica, but he's from Bloomfields, um, Nicaragua. Ola Spanish, I'm sure it's a good channel. I don't really watch that much of their content. I'm sure it's good, but it was probably there was probably a time then that I was watching it. Let me see. If you're looking for an incredible vlogger, Lucito is is very informative. He's a travel blogger. It's all in Spanish. He's from Mexico. There's hours of content. He's right now my favorite YouTuber um, that I can watch with Spanish content. Uh, Spanish with Nate. He's a young guy. He learned Spanish in high school and can speak to like a native Mexican, northern Mexican accent level. Most people um, would say that he's from Mexico. This is the guy I was saying earlier, Queasy the CEO. He does all of these reaction videos, and they're fantastic. Breakthrough Spanish is really good. And I bet you there's just tons. I bet you there's tons of Spanish. Um, Here's a Korean guy who does the same thing as Queasy the CEO. He just does reaction videos, and he speaks Spanish. And I never would have thought that. I mean, he just speaks to me. It's great. Coreano Loco. Here's someone who shares their she's from Brazil and she's learned a bunch a bunch of languages, I think five, but her English is is really high level. No, have you noticed a very interesting detail about Lucito and the phrase makes sense in Spanish? I have not. I have not. Um, Chavos is a channel about all this family does. They're from Mexico, and all they do is they just go to resorts all the time. They constantly go to resorts, and if you want to go on a vacation, or if you just want to learn vacation lingo and vacation style vocabulary, you probably get it from them because they basically their family goes and stays at different different resorts all the time. It's pretty awesome. Uh, of course, this language simp, it's just satire. It's language related. It's just for entertainment. You're not really going to learn anything from him, but if you're just looking for something that's language related but also funny, uh, this guy, this guy has that kind of content. Ricky with bilingual blogs, amazing, amazing content. A great Spanish teacher. Mm, definitely, he lives in Miami. I guess he grew up in Chicago. Lives in Miami. Was a flight attendant. Uh, can speak with native level accent, um, and kind of change it up to multiple countries, but for the most part, sticks with the Dominican accent for the most part. But honestly, really can really teach accents from multiple countries. Yeah, there's you know what? There's just tons of YouTube channels, and I know I don't have time to go through them because I don't even watch them all myself. But I was gonna see if I can find Spanish with Paul because he he didn't make content for like 4 years, and and anyway, the Dominican accent to me is the most difficult to understand. I don't find that. I don't find that. I find that that the the Cuban accent, and it really depends. We watched a documentary on Netflix called Cuba and the Cameraman. It's about a guy who has gone to Cuba like every couple of years for like the last 30 years. Um, from like the 70s to like 2016, so maybe over 40 years. He went to Que lo que, yeah. The majority of Italki teachers are from Colombia and Spain. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think there are a lot of teachers you can filter out through countries, but there's definitely a lot from Colombia, but there you can get there's a lot of teachers from a lot of countries. So I don't know. That might be an accurate statement, that the majority, but even even the rest, there's still a lot of teachers from everywhere else too. Um, the normal way of saying makes sense in Spanish was tiene sentido, but usually Lucy says hacer sentido. Oh, you think he's doing that on purpose to kind of change how the language is done? There might just be different. That might be a different thing, from where he grew up. I grew up in New Orleans, and there's things that I've that I've said that are not how the rest of the country speaks English. I've lost my accent over the last maybe probably over the last 15 years. I used to have a very, very heavy accent from New Orleans. I couldn't have a conversation without someone asking me where I'm from. But I've been traveling for 23 years now, and I'm not traveling with a bunch of other people from New Orleans. So you just naturally lose your accent. And now I have a neutral neutral way of speaking basically. I love New Orleans too. I think I gained like 5 pounds just by thinking about going to New Orleans. I'm probably gaining weight right now just because we're talking about it. Uh, that's just a that's a way for me to say the food there is the best in the world. I would not say the best in the country. I would say it's the best in the world, but I'm partial. Do they really say Nolans? Um, um, yeah, I guess yeah, they probably say Nolans, but no, I mean New Orleans is probably the most neutral way, but I had a heavy accent, but there's accents that could not be understood in other parts of Louisiana. I mean, there's some accents, if you start going towards the Gulf, south of I-10, you can't really get too far before you really can't understand what the hell people are saying, in the areas that I grew up. I grew up on the West Bank in New Orleans, which had a really it's a it's a really uncomfortable accent that does not it's not accepted in the rest of the country. So I was given a hard time for a long time. I traveled all across the country for my job, fixing hail damage in cars. Whenever it would hail in Denver or North Dakota, we'd go there, and I mean, you just can't go to North Dakota with a a New Orleans accent. Um, and them not just say anything about it. I mean, everybody said it. Everybody used to say things about it all the time. Yes, they say New Orleans, but probably in satire or just when people are just being silly and stuff like that. But New Orleans is just a common way of saying it. Not really New Orleans, but I'm not even gonna lie. There's people there who do say it New Orleans. I don't think anybody would give you a hard time. It sounds kind of weird to me, but Yeah, there are people who say there's even people who say New Orleans. New Orleans. Huh. Yeah, that's kind of weird the way that people say stuff like that. You just did an italki result filter for Mexican teachers, for teachers from Mexico. Um, yeah, how'd that turn up? Did it push through? Did it come through with a decent amount of results? It should. This Sunday, I'm having a lesson with Cynthia. Maybe I can share that one. I would like to have her just kind of test the abilities to see where I'm at, to see what I need to work on. Yeah, no, there's a lot of I could do that right now. Let's see. Learning languages. How do I find a teacher? I never use the computer to do this. I only ever use my phone. My teachers. Search for teachers. Teachers from Mexico. 15, $9, 17, 750, 15, 12. What's the price range? Juan Carlos, I've had he's come up to $7, which he probably needed to. He even $7, man. He's he's done 8,500 lessons. I mean, I would say he's reliable and good conversation. $7 is, man, that's cheap. I don't know how to say her name. Hochiti? I'm just gonna embarrass myself if I keep trying. 6.99, 17, 8, 12. Yeah, I mean, all of these teachers, these are all strictly from Mexico. When you get italki, you're allowed to do what's called an instant lesson, and you get that for your first 3 lessons. Um, but you don't get to you don't I don't even get to see who's available right now for an instant lesson because I wasn't really paying attention when I used my three trial lessons. I I don't understand why italki, because right now there's probably 30 to 50 teachers that are just available to take a lesson right now. If I wanted to just get on here and had the nerve to take a lesson, you can you can just you can just take a lesson right now. So what I did, and me posting this is probably gonna get them to figure it out and boot me off. I'll send a message. So I created another account. Let's see if that does it. So this, if you do, what do you have to do? My teachers? No. There's a way to see. Yeah, Mike Ben has had lessons with Juan Carlos too. I've had some too. Yes, Miss Mendez. I'm having a lesson with Cynthia on Sunday. She's she's really good. She's an incredible teacher. Am I in this right one? How do I do this? How do I see? Find a teacher. So if you have a new account, when you sign up for Italki, you get 3 trial lessons. Now, because you have 3 trial lessons, um, you you can actually see who's available. You get this thing right here, this instant lesson. So if you click on this, all of these teachers right now are online and ready to take a lesson. But for some reason, if you use your 3 trial memberships, your 3 trial lessons, you don't even get to see these. But look, if you're just starting out, you can have a trial lesson for $1. And of course, you can listen to everyone's profile to see if you'd like to talk to them. I just I try to make sure that you can hear them well. It'd be nice if more teachers had microphones like Gabriel um, from Venezuela. I mean, that would definitely be helpful. Yeah. These teachers are just available right now. Let's see, she's from Colombia with 306 lessons available now. But that's the crazy thing. What do you think the logic is behind that? Why would italki, now that I've had 326, I'm not allowed to contact these people who are doing instant lessons? I don't understand why they wouldn't why they would stop that. It is kind of frustrating. So I created another account so I can get on here and just check it out to see if it's something that I can see who's available. And then I go to my other account, or I'll have it on my phone and I'll send them a message. But yeah, that's kind of that's yeah, that's how you would find a teacher for instant lessons. I don't know if anybody else has used the instant lessons. Um, but yeah, I have. But I did it such a long time ago. And when I did it, I never did it to have an instant lesson. So yeah, that's good. Well, goodness, how long have I been on right now, guys? I don't want to keep y'all forever, and I've really kind of gotten away from what this was intended because I wasn't nice. Well, yeah, have fun with your lesson with her tomorrow. Yeah, if you're taking lessons with her, I'm I'm sure you're going to advance really quick. She's great. Um, yeah, that's it. What else? Is there anything else that I do other than watching shows? And Reina del Flow has really been the biggest step. And once my comprehension got to a certain level, and I can actually enjoy something like that. I can't follow everything, but I know the story, and what I can follow was enough to enjoy what I'm watching. There's been a handful of movies that I've been able to watch. There's certain things that I can't watch, even right now. I've tried to watch Siempre Bruja, um, always, always a witch. Um, it's based on it's also a Colombian series. They just speak too fast. It's it's just too fast. I can't follow it at all. So those are like the things that I'm having for goals to be able to see that. Looking forward to more live streams. Hopefully, you reach 1,000 subscribers soon. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm definitely not doing this for money, and I have said that if I monetize this channel, I don't know what that is because I really don't really know anything about that. But if this channel makes money, I imagine it's going to let me know what videos are making money. If it's a video for Maria, I'm just going to send that as a tip to Maria. I mean, I don't imagine this channel. I haven't seen anybody else's channel that I think would be making any money that's going to be like I'm gonna regret saying that. I really plan on if this channel gets monetized, if it makes any money from people watching them, that'll be a really cool tip that I can just pass on to whoever was gracious enough to let me share their class. Um, then I'm just gonna be happy to just send that to them. Thanks for thanks for tapping in, Miss Mendez. Yeah, I I definitely don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm probably wasting more too much time. But yeah, I'm glad you tapped in. Um, yeah, that's I guess that's about it. It's unless there was something else that um if anyone who's actually in here right now has a question or who's seen my videos, nos vemos pronto. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, um, feel free to send it through. Or of course, I pretty much see all the comments anyway. So even at another time, I'll do my best to try and answer everything that comes through. I've enjoyed this. Thanks for tapping in, guys, and yeah, um, enjoy your weekend. Y'all have a good evening. I'm gonna sign off now.